Before he became the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama lived as a prince surrounded by luxury and beauty. His father, King Suddhodana, shielded him from the realities of life, hoping he would remain attached to power and wealth. But one day, Siddhartha encountered foresights that shook him deeply. An old man, a sick person, a corpse, and finally, a wandering ascetic. These visions pierced his heart with a realization: no matter how rich or powerful a person is, everyone must face aging, illness, and death. Only the spiritual seeker seemed free from despair. This discovery ignited a burning question: is there a way to end suffering? Determined to find the truth, Siddhartha made a courageous decision. Late at night, while the palace slept, he mounted his horse and left behind the comforts of his kingdom, his wife, and even his newborn son. This was not a rejection of love, but a sacrifice for a greater purpose, the quest for liberation, not only for himself, but for all beings. It was the first step in a journey that would transform human history forever. After renouncing his royal life, Siddhartha sought guidance from the most renowned spiritual teachers of his time. He first studied under Alara Kalama, who taught meditation that led to profound states of absorption, culminating in the realm of nothingness. Siddhartha mastered these teachings swiftly, but he realized that even such deep concentration did not end suffering permanently. He then turned to Uddaka Ramaputa, who guided him to the subtle state of neither perception nor non-perception. Once again, Siddhartha achieved mastery, but he was unsatisfied. He understood that no matter how refined these meditative states were, they were temporary and did not bring complete liberation. His heart longed for a truth that would cut through suffering at its very root. Respectfully, Siddhartha left his teachers and continued searching. His journey was no longer just about meditation techniques. It was about discovering the ultimate path to freedom. This period of intense learning shaped his clarity. Liberation could not be borrowed from another. It had to be realized directly. Having found no final solution in meditation alone, Siddhartha chose the path of extreme self-denial. Together with 5 companions, he practiced severe asceticism in the forest. He starved his body, eating almost nothing, sometimes just a grain of rice or a sesame seed per day. His flesh wasted away, his bones protruded, and he looked more like a living skeleton than a man. He exposed himself to heat, cold, and pain, believing that by punishing the body he might purify the spirit. For 6 long years he endured this life of torment until his strength nearly vanished. Villagers who saw him thought he would die at any moment. Yet deep inside, Siddhartha began to realize a painful truth. No matter how much he tortured his body, wisdom did not arise. Instead, his mind grew weak, clouded, and trapped in despair. The path of indulgence had failed him, and now the path of self-mortification failed as well. He understood that neither extreme held the answer. One morning, exhausted and close to death, Siddhartha collapsed by the Naranjara River. At that moment, a village girl named Sujata approached, carrying a bowl of sweet milk rice as an offering. With gentle devotion, she placed it before him. Accepting it, Siddhartha ate and slowly regained his strength. This act of compassion was more than physical nourishment. It was a revelation. In that moment, he saw clearly, starving the body only leads to suffering, just as indulging in pleasures leads to attachment. The truth must lie in a middle way, between indulgence and denial. The milk rice gave Siddhartha not only life, but also clarity. With renewed strength, he washed in the river, cleansed his body, and prepared for the final stage of his quest. His 5 companions, however, abandoned him, believing he had given up. But Siddhartha was not defeated. He had discovered the key principle that would guide him to enlightenment: balance. After regaining his strength, Siddhartha walked to a large fig tree, later known as the Bodhi tree, near Bodh Gaya. There he made a powerful vow. "I will not rise from this seat until I have discovered the truth, even if my body withers away." With unshakable determination, he sat cross-legged, closed his eyes, and turned his focus inward. As night fell, his mind sank into deep meditation. Mara, the embodiment of illusion and desire, appeared to challenge him. Demons hurled weapons, daughters tried to seduce him, and storms raged across the sky. But Siddhartha remained still, unmoved, radiating peace. Finally, with his right hand, he touched the earth, calling it to witness his resolve. The earth itself trembled, affirming his worthiness. In that moment, Mara was defeated. and Siddhartha continued his meditation, stepping closer to ultimate realization. During that sacred night, Siddhartha experienced 3 profound insights. In the first watch, he gained the knowledge of his past lives, seeing countless rebirths stretching across time. In the second watch, he attained the divine eye, perceiving the endless cycle of birth and death of all beings, driven by their actions and karma. In the third watch, he realized the deepest truth, the cessation of all defilements, the end of craving, ignorance, and suffering. At dawn, as the morning star rose in the sky, Siddhartha attained complete awakening. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. In that moment, the universe seemed to rejoice. The long journey of struggle, trial, and sacrifice had borne fruit. The truth he discovered was not hidden in heaven, nor locked away in mystery. It was simple yet profound. Suffering arises from craving and ignorance, and it can be overcome through the Eightfold Path. The Buddha's enlightenment revealed the principle of the middle way. Neither indulgence in luxury nor extreme self-mortification leads to freedom. True liberation lies in a balanced path that cultivates wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. This path, known as the Noble Eightfold Path, became the heart of the Buddha's teaching: right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The middle way is not only a religious doctrine but a universal lesson. It teaches that balance brings clarity and moderation brings peace. Just as a lute string must not be too tight or too loose to make music, so too must life avoid extremes. The Buddha's discovery of the middle way was not an abstract philosophy. It was a practical guide for all who seek freedom from suffering. What makes the Buddha's journey so inspiring is not just his success, but also his failures. Each path he tried and abandoned became a stepping stone toward truth. If he had not lived in luxury, he would not have seen its emptiness. If he had not practiced severe austerity, he would not have understood its futility. Each failure refined his wisdom, showing him where the truth did not lie, until only the true path remained. This reminds us that failure is not the end, but part of the journey. Every mistake we make can bring us closer to understanding, as long as we learn and continue seeking. The Buddha's story is a testament that perseverance, guided by reflection, transforms failure into wisdom. The Buddha's quest for truth is filled with symbolic moments that inspire across cultures. Sujata's offering of milk rice symbolizes compassion as the force that sustains the seeker. The Bodhi tree represents awakening and the unshakable seed of meditation. Mara's temptations embody the inner struggles we all face: fear, desire, doubt. The earth-touching gesture symbolizes the grounding of truth in reality itself. Each symbol transcends its historical moment, speaking directly to the human spirit. For over 2,500 years, these images have inspired art, literature, and spiritual practice, reminding people everywhere of the possibility of awakening. At the end of his long search, the Buddha found what he had been seeking, not just for himself, but for all beings. His discovery was not a divine revelation handed from above, but a realization within the human heart. The message is timeless. Suffering is real, but so is the path to freedom. By walking the middle way, cultivating mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, every person has the potential to awaken. The Buddha's early practices, his doubts, his struggles, his perseverance, make his enlightenment even more meaningful. They show us that liberation is not beyond reach, but within the grasp of human effort. Today, his story continues to inspire millions, reminding us that no matter how lost we feel, the search for truth can always lead us back to peace.